every time that you add gas, you're required to document that, right? And then they're required to keep that as a part of the leak loss record. And so that the EPA can inspect it. And this is true over anything over 15 pounds. So basically everything that is in any commercial space like this. And so, even if you're working on the chiller and they've got some other systems, they should know about all those systems. Like anything with 15 pounds is a big deal. And we're talking to HFCs, that's pretty much everything right now. HFCs and HFO blends and all that. Um, so they have to keep a leak loss record, which is every charge event over the course of a year, and not like a calendar year, 365 days rolling. They have to take that and do math on it and say, what's the total charge, right? Full charge, and how much do we add? And when they cross a leak rate threshold, they're required to do a fixed process beyond just the normal stuff that you guys do every day. First off, we should be fixing leaks if we find leaks anyway, right? We know there's a leak, fix the leak. That's how it starts. But if you don't, you come up to a system, or maybe a system hasn't been touched in a couple of years, and you get there and you find it's really low, and you throw in a bunch of gas because it's low. You just cross the threshold. You can say, well, yeah, but it's been running fine for 3 years. I haven't touched, haven't had to add gas. They don't care. It's the moment that you add enough gas to cross in a 365-day period to cross the threshold. So if you're comfort cooling, it's 10%. If you're IPC, it's 30, right? So you get a little bit more breathing room on the IPC side. 10% is not a lot. It's really not. It's not a lot of gas. And so, I mean, you just gave an example. You throw a couple 100 pounds in there. A couple 100 pounds often pushes you into that 10% world. Um, so if you cross that, then you have a clock starts. You have from the day that you add that charge and discover that from the day you add the charge, whether or not you discover you're over the leak rate threshold or not that's on you. You're supposed to know. They're supposed to know. You have a 30-day window to repair it, to verify the repair, then to get the system fully charged again, operating normally. So that could be at the same time, right? You could just, if you can valve a section off, fix a leak, whatever, and get it going again. It could be, but it's a second verification. So I had to charge it. I had to find a leak. I had to repair the leak. So the moment that you do that, you have a 30-day clock. Then you have to check your leak repair. Then you have to verify it again after it's at normal operating condition in order to reset that leak loss rate. So I definitely have some visuals I could give on this, John, that you could share with the group because I've been talking about this a lot lately. That little sequence, that loop. And here's the thing: once you do the repair, you have 10 days. So you have the lesser of the 30 or the 10. If you did the repair, you have 10 days to do that follow-up verification. And you can go, well, yeah, I know it's fine because I haven't had any gas. That doesn't work. You literally have to document, yes, I re-inspected for leaks and didn't find leaks. So
Crazy though, because I think, I mean, what if a guy's waiting for parts? What if parts don't arrive for 6, 8 months?
okay, so you can file an extension. That's a legit question. So if it's truly a part dependent thing, then you can file an extension to go beyond that time frame. But you literally have to file paperwork with the EPA. You can't just go, oh,
I don't think
we're good. Nobody wants to. And I'll tell you another one. We have, that blows people's mind. You have what they have the chronically leaking system rule. And you just by the name, you think, oh, it just leaked a bunch. But the chronically leaking system rule doesn't really care if it was leaked or if a copper thief stole copper out of it. And again, if you're talking about like a big industrial chiller, in a basement or something, you're not talking about copper lines being stolen. But some of the guys, I'm sure, in your world are working on package rooftop chillers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so somebody comes along, or it's on the side of a building. Somebody comes along and cuts something out of there or whatever. That is 100%. It counts against you. So now you put it back together and you find out there's a leak. And so now you end up at 125%. You're required, no matter what the reason, and this is the EPA for you. This one's calendar year based. In any calendar year, if you've lost more than 125% or more in any system for any reason, you're required to send in what I call the naughty letter. You have to self-confess to the EPA. We had this problem, and here's what we're doing about it. Here's how it happened. You have to there's a lot of documentation in this.
Which is
and
crazy
you have to
to me because, like, you would think since we have, like a Constitution and a Fifth Amendment, like it seems crazy that you have to. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's
We
wild.
take you individually to court to sue you. Is that how it works? Or
They would go after the company at that point.
yeah, that's what I mean. So the company, like, they would take
Yeah.
the company to court and sue them in civil court.
If you refuse to cooperate, what they would do is
Yeah.
they'd come in and they'd strong arm you and leverage you and abuse you and then when you were done, you would feel like you were in prison before you got there.
Yeah.
And then you'd pay your penalty, and you'd make the repairs or whatever. And here's the problem: um,
Just curious. Yeah.
they're not going to stop there. So like the moment that they're in the door, they're in, and that's where it gets really terrible, right? Like the best place to be is ignored. Nobody wants to, they don't even know we exist. Perfect. Keep it that way. That's the key. That's the ticket. Just keep it that way. And I know a lot of guys are like, oh, they never violate, they never do this. They do. They do a fair bit of it, honestly. I mean, as a percentage of the market, it's nothing. Okay. But there are multiple violations that are issued every year in the various parts of the industry. So it does happen. The chances of it happening to you are pretty low. Um, but is that really, I guess, like, I'm not here to scare doom and gloom anyway. I mean, John, you had the right point at the beginning of this, which is do the right thing anyway, because it's better for the client, right? Fixing leaks so you're not pouring gas through the system that costs a fortune, take care of the system. I'm just trying to give you guys what the rules are so that when somebody goes, well, we're not
Do
fixing
something
it,
else. Yeah.
yeah, you can go, hey, like there is another risk
That's
here.
fine.